Welcome to episode 44 of the Your Way podcast. So, today we are going to talk about the importance of being in the body and the power of your body. And I think a really vital key place to start is just this recognition of most of us spend most of our time completely disconnected from our bodies. We spend our time in the thinking brain, we're like distracted, we are go, 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 go. And so, what we don't get is all of the power and all of the wisdom that comes from the neck down in our bodies. Um, and there are very, very good reasons why we disconnect from our bodies, right? Difficult childhoods, trauma, stress, burnout, any experience that we have that is too much, too fast, too soon, or too little for too long for our nervous systems will create a disconnect. Then you also can throw into the mix all of the joyous conditioning we get around how we should hate our bodies. If, as women, we don't look like a Victoria supermodel, and if, as men, you don't look like a Ken doll, then you learn that you are lacking, you are deficient. You should hate yourself, you should punish yourself, you should restrict, you should starve, you should be doing all of this exercise. And so, what you learn is that your body is not okay. And it creates a disconnect. Those of you who've experienced sexual trauma, unwanted attention, accidents, all of these different things can happen to disconnect us from our bodies. And then you've got the kind of the day-to-day stuff that again creates a disconnect. We live in a world where we are celebrated for being busy, for the go, 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 for being productive. Air quotes for those of you not watching this on YouTube, for constantly doing and being in the mind, and all of this stuff creates this massive disconnect. And the challenge with that is that we never get to be actually present in our lives. In order to be present in your life, you have to be in your body. And in order to feel safe, like so many of us think, that safety is this outside of us thing that gets created when we have a certain amount of money in our bank account. And that is bullshit, right? Feeling safe, again, comes from feeling safe in our bodies. And so, one of the most important things that you can ever do is to learn to feel safe and at home in your body, right? You've got this amazing container to exist in. And most of us spend all of our lives hating it, wanting to be somewhere else, and being disconnected from it. And so, in order to get back to that place of it is safe to be all of me, it is safe to be in my body, and then access the gifts that come from that, there's got to be a returning back to the body. And this has been a real fundamental part of my journey. Like, I didn't realize how disconnected I was from myself. I thought I was a pretty open book. I thought I was quite connected. And when I started working with a trauma coach about 5 years ago now, and she would give me these exercises to help get into my body, one of them is like you just look at the back of your hand, and it's to just help you connect into your body, right? So it's like you tap the back of your hand until you can feel, till you get that felt connection of like, oh, like this is part of me. I can feel that connection. And you'd be like, this is my hand, it is part of my body. And then there's a whole like series of stuff that you go through. I had to like beat the shit out of my hand to be able to feel that connection to my hand. And even the act of just that kind of tapping and connecting into my body, it was too much stimulation for me. Like I actually found it quite disconnecting to try and even be in my body in that way. And when I then did more of this nervous system work, getting into the body and healing in that way, the shifts were like night and day. And I was like, oh my goodness, I have been so disconnected from myself. I have been so checked out, so dissociated. And there was so much grief that came with that because at that point, I'm like, I don't know, 35, 36. Like, wow, I've spent 35, 36 years completely disconnected from myself. like hating my body, not being in my body, just completely checked out. But then this returning back to myself was incredible. And it was like, I think often we spend loads and loads of time in therapy or doing like mindset coaching and talking about stuff. And we create this great level of awareness of like, oh, well, these are my patterns and this is what happened and this is how my childhood played out and these are my money patterns. And we have all of this understanding. And then it's like, nothing's different. Can see the patterns now, but I'm still living out the patterns. I'm still doing this stuff. I'm still pushing. I'm still hustling. I'm still trying to prove. I'm still trying to do all of these things. And when I learned to access my body and be in my body and move through those patterns in my body and feel the sensations in my body and process the emotions, all of a sudden things actually started to shift. And that is when I realized that if I was going to effectively support my clients, I had to be able to support them via the body, via the nervous system, via the trauma resolution, alongside the mindset, the strategy, and all of the rest of it. And so I spent 10 months training, intensive training in all things nervous system, trauma healing, and body-based work. And then the lady that I did that certification with came to me and said, she was like, you've embodied this stuff so well. I would love it if you would come and support me in the next certification to help teach other people to do this work effectively with their clients, right? And so it was an incredible, incredible experience for me over those 2 years to really properly immerse myself in this work, to really understand like what's the biological support that people need, what are the supplements, what are the practices, how do we support the nervous system, what are the steps to trauma resolution, and then to be able to integrate that into my work so that people got these shifts much more effectively, much more efficiently. Because it's one thing understanding something cognitively, but to actually be able to shift the patterns and the behaviors and to feel safe in the body is something else altogether. And the reason why this is so, so important is because in the returning back to the natural place, right? So the healing is natural, the being in our bodies is natural, going through all of these processes is natural, but we're so disconnected from it because we don't live that kind of lifestyle. And in that process of learning to be in the body, connecting back to self, and then doing this with clients, I recognize that this very natural follow-on happened of all of a sudden, they were then connecting to our version of spirit, the divine, like something greater than themselves. And different people call it different things. And honest to God, I don't think there should be one right answer because they're interesting. I said honest to God, which is actually not my belief. But it's like there's this connection to something greater than themselves, whether that is nature, the divine, like the goddess, all of this stuff, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, there is more than just me, and it's this very, very natural process. You can't get there without getting into the body first. It's like this very natural progression, and then from that space, what happens is you get back in touch with your natural place. And that natural place is where your psychic gifts come online, where your intuition really kicks in, where you really start to be able to access the body wisdom. Because you've got the mind, the thinking mind, and that's great. But then there's a whole heap of goodness and joy and wisdom that comes from the heart space. Like there are scientific schools of thought that say that actually more of our kind of intellectual brain capacity is really in the heart. Then you've got the gut, the intuition. And again, lots and lots of science that shows that gut brain connection. Like what is going on in our microbiome and in our gut impacts our mental health because the two are inextricably linked. But all the time we're just up here, stressed out, feeling anxious, feeling depressed. We don't get all of the rest of this access. And so again, the reason why this is so important is because we all came here with a purpose, right? We came here with a purpose. We came here with a mission. We came here with really, really important stuff to do. And then we come into our bodies and we go to school and we get told that in order to be successful, we need to be a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, or an accountant. And we get told that if we're going to be lovable, we need to make sure that we're very, very successful by following this very linear path, which is very, very disconnecting from the body. And we need to sacrifice ourselves, we need to please others, and we need to be perfect, and we need to do all of these things. And so we disconnect from our soul's purpose, from our actual mission, as we follow this path of like, oh, okay, so for me, oh, okay, so if I'm going to make my parents proud and I'm going to be worthy and I'm going to be lovable, then I better do something that's really dead good. I'll go and do a law degree because that sounds fancy. I'll go and be a lawyer. And actually, to be perfectly honest, I was going to do a law degree and then become an investment banker because I had an uncle who was like, yeah, lawyers don't earn that much. You should do investment banking, you'll make more money. And I was like, oh, that's what I'll do. Now, interestingly, when I went to university, it became very clear very quickly that I wasn't actually that interested in making lots of money. I actually was more focused on being happy and having a good life. So I had this sense early on, but then things kept taking me away from that as I sort of tried to follow back down this path of like, well, no, because I've been told if I can follow this checklist of success, this magical checklist of success, and tick off all of these boxes, then I'll be happy, then I'll be worthy, then I get the right to exist because I've earned it. And for those of you that are new here, that ended in catastrophic burnout, which really was the start of my spiritual awakening in 2018. This like lightning bolt of you can't keep going like this. You need to do something differently. So life disconnects us from our soul's purpose. Life disconnects us from our mission. When we don't feel safe in our bodies, we sure as shit don't feel safe to go and put ourselves out there as someone who is psychic or intuitive or who gets all of these downloads or who can like see people's auras or who can see spirits, like whatever your version of this is. Like, oh no, must push all of that down. Must push down all of the feelings. Because heaven forbid that I express an emotion in the office. That's not allowed. Right? So we push all of this stuff down. And if you are going to do your mission, your sole purpose this lifetime, you've got to bring this stuff back online. And this happens through the trauma healing, the nervous system work, the getting back in the body, because then the psychic gifts come in naturally. The intuition turns on naturally. All of this stuff happens naturally. You don't have to force it. The draw to nature happens naturally. The draw to like things like the stars and the moon, it happens naturally. You start to notice and feel into where is life trying to lead me? What is going on here? Things happen, you're around people and your body like contracts. It feels awful. It's like, oh, this doesn't feel good. And you start to trust that. It's like, oh, yeah, my body's letting me know this is not good for me. I need to not do this thing. Or conversely, you notice yourself really feeling drawn in, and your mind might be like, no, you can't do this, it's too hard, it's too much money, it's too much energy, you haven't got this, that, and the other. But yet there's like a heart pull or like an intuitive pull. And when you're in your body and you can connect into that, you're able to sort of take a step back and be like, okay, the ego doesn't want me to change. Those parts of me that are trying to keep me safe don't want me to change. My nervous system is trying to keep me safe, doesn't want me to change. But when I focus and step into the body really wants this. And then you can really lean into and trust the body. But that only happens when you feel safe in the body. Okay. And so this is why, for me, that body work and now also like the more energetic practices that I'm bringing in, breath work, rapid energetic, rapid energetic recoding, lots of like more energetic practices, connecting in with your guides, all of that stuff that brings us into the body is so, so important, because that is what makes connecting to your soul purpose, what makes connecting to your mission, feeling safe to do your mission, so much more easeful. And the takeaway for you today is just to know that your body is powerful. And there are many people out there that do not want you to know this, because if you know your body is powerful and you feel safe in your body, then you don't have to be fearful of all the stuff out there. You don't have to be fearful. You don't have to be preoccupied by it. But then you also can't be controlled. Because if you're not stuck in this paradigm of, I need to push, I need to hustle, I need to be my corporate job, what's going to happen? I need my pension contributions. I need to do this. I need to do that. Blah, 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 blah. Right? If you're not stuck in all of that, if you're not paralyzed by fear, if you're just safe because you feel safe in your body is the container, like you are the solution, then you realize you're completely limitless and you can do anything. And that makes you kind of dangerous in a world where they like to control us. It's like we're like the little ants in the ant farm. But if you're listening to this, you already know all of this. Even if you don't know it cognitively, you know this at a soul level, you know this at a body level. You did not come here to complete the checklist. You did not come here to live outside of your body. You did not come here to seek safety and security from external validation, a number in your bank account, a pension, or anything else. You came here to live and love and be present in the moment. And that requires being in your body, slowing down, doing the nervous system work, doing the somatic work, doing the healing, so that your psychic gifts can come online, your intuitive gifts can come online, you can connect into your soul mission, and you can truly feel it is safe to be all of me and do my work in the world. And there has never been a more important time than now. We are at this absolute crunch point in humanity where people's consciousness is so low, people are so stuck in the fear and the greed that if we carry on the way we are literally going to destroy ourselves. We are on a path to self-destruction. And what is going to be required to avoid that path is more people getting into their bodies, feeling safe in their bodies, connecting into their gifts, and feeling ready to do their soul's work in the world to make this a better place for all of us. And if this is resonating, if you are like, yes, I know I need to be in my body, I know I feel more connected when I'm in my body. Or maybe you're thinking, oh yeah, actually I've had a ton of therapy and Louise is right. I've got lots of awareness, but it hasn't really moved the needle a lot. Explore the somatic work, explore getting in your body. And if you've done this work already and you're now at this place of, oh, it does feel safer to be in my body, and I do have a huge soul mission, I can feel it. You might not exactly be able to tap into it just yet, but you're like, I know I'm here for more. I know I've got these gifts. I know I'm supposed to be using them for something more than I am already. Come and join Wealthy Witches, the mission. This is a beautiful hybrid one-on-one and group mastermind space that is going to hold you to properly connect into your hero's journey, your mission this lifetime, but it is going to build that safety in the body. It is going to build that resilience. It is going to take you through that natural process where these psychic intuitive gifts come online. And it is going to teach you how to execute your mission, making more money than you ever have, doing the stuff that you are here to do from this place of grounded ease. Because that head disconnected from the body paradigm is hush, push, push, and hustle, and force, and prove. That is not the wealthy witch's way. The wealthy witch's way is slow down, connect into the body, make the body a safe place, work through any fears, so that actually you can completely embody this space of, this is my mission, this is what I'm here to do, these are my gifts, this is the reason I had my gifts. And because you came here to live a glorious, limitless life, we're also going to be tapping into stuff like your pleasure, your desire, those real like feminine sexual qualities. Tapping into how do you make time for you? How do you make time work for you? How do you create everything that you want and then have amazing amounts of spaciousness in your life for whatever the hell it is that lights you up? Because your mission does not need to be all encompassing. Like, it's important, but then your life is also important. And that's what we are creating here. This is like, how do you connect into your mission, but do it your way? So if this is resonating, if this excites you, if your brain is like, holy fuck, I couldn't do that. That's absolutely impossible. That's disastrous. I'll be killed for this. But your heart and your gut are like, I quite like what this lady's saying. I'm a bit interested. Can you allow yourself to connect into the heart and the gut? Go and check out the sales page, which will be in the show notes. Go and see what you notice. Book a call with me. Come and have a conversation about this. Because we are at a point in humanity where we have got to raise the collective consciousness of individuals if we are going to survive. Maybe not our generation, maybe not your children's generation. But if we carry on the way we've started, we are on a path to self-destruction. And I think that many of us are here at this point in time in humanity because we have been sent to do our part to save the humans. And that's not to put pressure on you of like, oh, fuck, if I don't do my mission, then that's it. No, it's not what I'm saying. If you are called to do this work and you want someone to help you hold you through it safely so that you can do it from a place of spaciousness and ease and not the burnout and not the pushing and not the hustle, then the Wealthy Witches Mastermind could be for you. So check it out in the show notes. Come and say hi if you'd like to have a conversation about it. We're going to start on the 2nd of April with an induction call. It's like introductions, induction, like getting to know each other, welcoming into the space. And then the 18-week group coaching will kick off on the 9th of April. You will also get a monthly one-on-one included, and there is an option to attend a retreat as well. So I am very much excited to be joined by those of you that this speaks to. And if it is speaking to you, pay attention. And otherwise, I will see you guys next time for more magic. Take care of yourself and don't forget the power of your body. Ciao.